Hi, and welcome to Sparkle Chart. Hi, I'm Kate Palmer, and I'll be your host for 52 Weeks of Sparkle. Why 52 Weeks of Sparkle? Because I'm also called Sparkle Tart, thanks to my husband. So, welcome to 52 Weeks of Creative Inspiration. Now, I've written these prompts so that they are flexible and you could use them in any creative endeavour. But I'll also be coming back each week and explaining a little bit more about each of the prompts in case you need a little extra push, a little extra motivation. So, the first week of 52 Weeks of Sparkle is about looking at your level 10 life. Now, in case you don't know what a level 10 life is and think it sounds like one of the kids' computer games, it's not. It's actually a really beautiful way to reflect on how the past year has gone and what you can do to make the next year even better, if you can. It's not always possible. Now, it originally came from a book, and I'll link all of that and talk a little bit more about it in my blog post. And you can find the link to that in the description underneath this YouTube clip. And every week I'll put something on my blog with a bit more information, just in case you need a bit more of a push. I'll also be sharing what I've used the inspirational prompts for. Some weeks it'll be a YouTube clip. I'll do those separately, or it could be a planner pick, an art journal page, could be anything. So make sure to follow along with my blog and Instagram, and sometimes even my Facebook, to see all of the things I'm doing with these creative inspirational prompts. Let's get back to level 10 life. So basically, there are 10 key factors to happiness in most people's lives. So basically, these 10 things make a difference in everyone's lives. What I want you to do is take those 10 things and only use the ones that suit you. If there's things that don't resonate, that don't make sense to you, change them out for something else. So instead of having relationships, you may choose to have fitness. That might be one of your goals. Instead of one of the other options, you might choose to talk about holidays. Think of it as tapping into your mental health. That's what I'm viewing this as. So it's like a mental health check. 10 different components, and I'll walk you through what I'm doing for mine later on in this clip. And I'll show you how I've used these 10 things, changed them so they work best for me, and then use those to tap in and check in with myself and see how things are going. Now, this can be personal. You don't need to show it to anyone. You don't even need to show it to me. It's just so that you can check in on your own life and see what you can do and make a bit of a plan to try and make it better. Now, sometimes you can't always do anything about something, but identifying it sometimes gives you the opportunity to try. And that's all that's really important. It's your life. We only get it once, but you need to check in with yourself. This is your level 10 life. It's aiming for the best, not the most extravagant, not the richest or anything like that, but the best life for you. So, welcome to 52 Weeks of Sparkle, and I'm about to go and show you how you can check in with yourself, do a quick mental health check, and have a look at your level 10 life. So come with me, and I'm about to get stuck into my planner and work on my level 10 life chart. So we've been talking about level 10 life, and I thought I would share what I've done in my Hobonichi with all of you. Now, I have changed some of the topic headings from the usual ones, mostly because there's things I would prefer to keep track of, and the things I've removed is things I'm already working on. I don't need to track. And sort of stuff I do without thinking. So I've got creativity, personal growth, health, and fitness. Now these are two different things for me because I've got kind of a lot of health issues. Self-care, career, fun, organisation, that one might be surprising to a few people, physical environment, and finances. I've also got a quote down the bottom from Elrond here, who is the gentleman that has written the book Miracle Morning, which is what all of this level 10 life stuff is based off. And this is one of his quotes. And I thought this was particularly perfect for me because I have a little problem with perfectionitis. So this one just says, give up being perfect for being authentic.
And that's one of the things I'd like to do this year, which is stop worrying about what other people might think and if anybody else is going to like it but me, and just be myself. So I hope you all enjoy a little bit more of me. Now, what I've done here is I've just drawn it in Copic Multiliner, and I've been using my Zebra Mildliners to colour it. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you can use these to watercolour with in your book. So what I've been doing is just drawing a straight line on one end, colouring in the top row, and if I'd like it to be dark, I add 2 layers of colour, taking a water brush and just moving that colour around a little bit. And that just gives a really beautiful light result, and it goes all wrinkly while it's wet, but as it dries it goes much flatter, so it doesn't stay that way. Now, as you can see with fitness here, I had originally put my bar at 4, and then I had a bit of a think about it and realised that I'm not as fit as that. I'm not even halfway there, so I've readjusted my level and put it back to 3. So I've got to work on that this year. So let me just colour in the rest of these. Won't take a second. And what I've done is whatever colour highlighter I've used to colour in my bar, I've used the same colour on the corresponding text on the side here, just so the pages are coordinated. It's just a little nod to being pretty. You know me, I like things to be pretty. Now, this was difficult because I realised that as much as I love my life, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it, there's a few areas I really need to work on, and fun and self-care and my fitness and health are amongst those. And some of the areas would have got a much higher score if my life was a little bit less up in the air, uncertain. Things going on at the moment that just make life a little bit stressful. So hopefully once that stress has resolved itself, some of these things will get a much higher score when I do my review. So there we go, perfect. Well, not perfect, but perfect for me. So there are 5 steps to drawing this up in your own journal or planner. Step 1 is to have a look at my blog, and I've got all of the original Level 10 Life topics listed there, and then have a think about what you want your topics to be. So that's step 1. Think about what you want your topics to be, what you would like to track between this year and next year. Step number 2 is the ratings. Now, this is a little bit difficult because it means you've got to be a bit critical about your life and how happy you are with it, or how fulfilled. And this is a happiness or fulfillment scale. Try not to be too down on things depending on the day, because your mood can affect how you feel about things. So give it an overall rating. So think about the last 12 months and where you're at, and rate it that way, not just today. Don't wear your rose-coloured glasses either. Make sure you're looking at this and being honest. So try and be as honest as you can. It will help, and nobody needs to see this but you. Now, step number 3 is optional, and you can see mine here. I've written down the issues, so things stopping me from getting a higher score here. Now, it's not always something you can do anything about. So identifying them is great, but don't expect that you can always fix them. So step 3 is identifying the issues. Step 4 is ideas for improvements, or a plan to put that into action. Now, I've got my improvements here, but my plan will be on another page. So my improvements are my goals. So what I would like to do for each of these things to make my life more of a level 10 life, or a little bit better, because I'm not aiming for perfection. I'm just aiming to make my life a little bit better. So I've just written quick dot points for goals, things I would like to sort of put into place this year. Now, the key here is to make them achievable. If you write down, for example, finances, you'd like to save $1 million, that might not be something that you can realistically do. So you're setting yourself up for failure if you create goals that are too overly ambitious. So it's best to have small goals so that you can actually achieve them and feel like you're getting somewhere. This shouldn't make you feel worse about things. It should be a way to make you feel better. So write some little goals for each section, Some of them can be the same thing, like my fitness and health have some of the same goals, because I think that some of these things are important and might sort of come in under more than one topic. And number 5 is review, because there's no point doing this if you never look at it again. Now, some people like to review monthly if they feel they really need to keep on track. Others, like me, like to have a look at it every 6 months, but I wouldn't redo the whole thing. Just sort of revisit it and see how you're going. And other people do this as a yearly thing in the front of their planner, and that's what I do, a yearly check-in kind of thing. Now, I've left a little blank space because I'm going to decorate that bit down there. That's just me being authentic, which I'm trying to be a bit more of this year. So that's how I've attacked my level 10 life. How are you going to attack yours, and how are you going to make a plan to make your life that little bit better this year? Give it a think, and I'd love to see what you do.
So come back next week for another inspirational creative prompt, and for every week after that for 52 weeks of Sparkle.